Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today we are going to be looking at the brand new Cultist Lord Ezareth. Part of his kit is that he devours allied summons, and so I thought it'd be very helpful to actually go through which heroes you can pair with him and which heroes you can't. So without further ado, let's get started. Obviously we are here over on test server and we are going to start by actually looking at his kit. So first things first, the talent is that this is what he does. It's these dark spores, which he can have 5 of, and they basically grant immunity. But yeah, when he starts in this world destroyer mode, which is his attack mode. His basic is that he can deal AoE damage up to 8 enemy targets on 1 hit, and then his ultimate is switching between destroyer mode and devourer mode. And yeah, basically that's thing. Now, if he is in his destroyer or attack mode, he can inflict this vulnerability of magic damage. He also, which is 25%, really nice. He can also execute enemies with HP below 30%, but this doesn't apply to elites and bosses. And then when he is carrying these dark spores, it increases damage. And then when he is in his devourer mode, it essentially allows him to do some AoE. But the main thing here is that he, if I move my head out the way, he basically is able to, when he consumes an allied summon, it gives him 2 stacks. He also is able to self-generate himself. If he kills an enemy, then he is able to get one of these spores his own, but it takes longer if he does it himself rather than if he eats heroes. Now, I'm going to absolutely get rid of everyone's gear. Just 1 second. Really silly gear name, because basically what I want to do is not have any bias as to where the summons are coming from, because like I said, if he kills a hero, kills an enemy, he can get one of these spores himself. Now for the awakenings, just a sort of quick note, it's basically that he is able to increase AoE damage. His Awaken 3 means that he'll get an extra stack of these dark spores, which is really nice. Obviously pen for the A4, and then his A5 is that he also ignores magic resistance, which is really nice. So yeah, let's start with our little experiment. Okay, so we're going to be bringing Venoma just to speed up the ults to get everyone going. And yeah, if you click here in the tag filter, you can see everything that the game displays as having summons. So yeah, we are going to start alphabetically. I think we're going to do this alphabetically, starting with Anora. And obviously, remember, he doesn't consume what's called special summons. Now, obviously, Anora, she has her dragon. Now, we're going to get rid of gear. Like I said, we don't want to confuse whether or not he's getting his own stack. So everyone's going to be ungeared. It's just to sort of test and see. So yeah, starting off, like I said, we're bringing in Venoma because I want to just get everyone's ults off really quick. You can see here he starts in the devourer mode, destroyer mode, which is red, and then the devourer mode is purple. And then Anora here is going here. She's going to summon out her little dragon. And yeah, we'll see that he is not eating the dragon because, yeah. No. So Anora's dragon does not count as a summon. It is a special summon. And so, yeah, he will not work with Anora. Next up, we are going to be looking at Beatrix. She is able to put out these Dream Eaters on her ultimate. She puts out 2 of them. So we are going to take a look and see how she pairs up with that. Now, obviously, he's going to go down. I'm actually going to let him get rid of the 2 that he is able to get initially in his destroyer mode with these red wings, switch him into devourer, and ult with Beatrix to hopefully get some little Dream Eaters. You can see him eat 1 there for 2 stacks, 2 there for a 2nd stack, and so immediately he is getting 4 stacks with Beatrix to start with. Now, if Beatrix is a 3, she is then able to have a 3rd Dream Eater, which would then mean that he could maximize his full stacks, and that would obviously be a better pairing, because obviously the more stacks, the better. So with Beatrix's Awakenings, on this A3, it increases the number of Dream Eaters summoned by the ultimate by 1. And then when the talent's triggered, there is this chance to summon 2 Dream Eaters. So obviously getting her to A3 is going to make her way more, like, filling out the buffet. I don't really know how to describe it, but basically it's going to put out more summons for Ezareth to eat. Now for the Bubba test, as you can see, we are going to ult with Ezareth, and we're going to ult to get those putrid flies definitely out. That's what that little swarm is. And you can see that Ezareth does not consume Bubba's putrid flies. Bubba also is able to put out some putrid flies on his basic, and as you can see, we are getting absolutely 0 stacks. So unfortunately, Bubba does not count as far as Ezareth and the summoning eating is concerned. Next, we are going to have Cyrus. Obviously, Cyrus is able to put out little skeletons and, yeah, helps his survivability. So, yeah, we're going to, again, let Ezareth get rid of his stacks. And now we are going to put him into the devour mode, let Cyrus spawn a skelly, and, yep, Ezareth is able to eat the Cyrus skeletons. Now, this is technically almost like an infinite supply of skeletons in a weird way, because every single time he ults, he could do it. But then you could say that about anyone putting out the summons. So yeah, never mind. Essentially, Cyrus skeletons do count. Okay, so now we are testing Kaede. He is able to summon 3 different types of birds, depending on what's going on with his kit. So yeah, one of the easiest ones to be able to test is that whenever an allied member of your team retreats or dies, you get a special type of bird. So we're going to quickly pop down Phenoma. We're going to pick her back up, and that should spawn, I think it's Spirit Beak. I'm not entirely sure, but there it is. And it is within Ezareth's range, and it hasn't been consumed. So Kaede does not work with Sorry, Kaede does not work with Ezareth. There we go. Right, moving on. Next up, we have Kria. We've moved into like a super early stage of Grade 1, and that is because Kria does actually have to kill enemies in order to summon her Stormcrows. So yeah, we have come into an absolutely baby stage. We're going to let Ezareth get rid of his own stacks. We're going to put down Kria. She should very easily wipe up these mobs. I would be concerned if she couldn't. There you go. As you can see, everything goes down, and he is absolutely eating those birds for dinner. So yeah, Kria's summons absolutely work with Ezareth. Next up, we have the only epic summoner, and that is going to be Nauvras, who is able to spawn like a little mini scarecrow thing. So yeah, we're going to let him come down, and he will put out his own little scarecrow, and it should, hopefully, there we go. Oh no, that's his birds. It's all a bit confusing. He's got birds, and then he's also got a scarecrow. But essentially, we are going to put Ezareth into Devour mode and see whether or not he is able to eat. And yes, so the Nauvras summon is able to be eaten by Ezareth. But yeah, it's this little scarecrow thing here that I think he's going to eat. And you can see he's got the extra stats. So that is absolutely perfect. So Nauvras does work with Ezareth. Now moving on to a relatively new release, this is going to be Sythra, the chaotic marksman. She is able to summon 1 archer on her ultimate. You can see him just behind the wings here of Ezareth, and we're going to switch him over and see if he devours it. And yes, he does. So yeah, but she's only able to summon on her ultimate, and it is just that 1 hero. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the best pairing. And also with her kit and with that summon that she does, you actually do kind of want that archer to be hitting. So this is not a pairing that I would recommend. Next up is Sun Wukong. He is able to, let's put the heroes down, right? He is able to summon up to 3 sage clones at any one time, and he is able to summon 1 every 3 basic hits. So you need him to be hitting enemies in order to summon his clones. And yeah, let's see if any of them pop up and whether they count as special or not, because he does use them as part of his ultimate. They come to him. So yeah, nope, they get eaten by Ezareth. So Wukong is able to be paired with Ezareth. I'm not sure when you would do this pairing, to be completely honest, but yeah, as you can see, they definitely do work together. And next up, we have the other hero being released alongside Ezareth, and that is the brand new mage Velisse. She is able to summon 3, they're called serpents. They actually look more like little red lightning guards, just as a little heads up. Every time she ults, she's able to do them. And as you can see, they absolutely do get eaten by Ezareth. But the interesting thing in her kit is that her serpentine things, they actually will go to Ezareth because they naturally die. They will end up going to be eaten. So it's a little bit interesting how the 2 of them, I think, have been designed to pair together nicely. So you can see here in a bit more detail on her kit. Under skills, it's actually under the talent when you click the Serpentine Spirit. It has a specific thing here about Ezareth. So that if Ezareth is on the field, once this Serpentine Spirit dies, is inactive, it moves to his position, which means Ezareth doesn't actually have to be within range of Velisse in order to get the summons type thing. So clearly they are meant to work well together, and they do work well together. So yeah, and then finally, the last hero that we have to test is going to be Xaris. He summons 3 souls and down with deployed. When he's a 5, he gets way more of these. And the interesting thing is that his souls, basically every time he ults, he gets few of these souls. So it is going to be a little bit interesting to see whether it's worth the sheer amount, because if you look here, when he is a 5, he has a ton of summons that immediately pop out on the board to feed up your very hungry Ezareth. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if anyone sort of works out whether the sort of decreasing but burst damage that you get from a Xaris pairing with Ezareth is actually going to be useful in some situations or not. But yeah, if he is just a 1, he just pops out 3 of these. It is still enough to give Ezareth max stacks to begin with, which is really nice to get him started. But like I said, unfortunately, because Xaris's amount of summons decreases each time he ults, it is really only designed for very short burst damage. So yeah, basically out of all the summon type heroes, there are only 3 that aren't able to be paired or feed Ezareth, and that is obviously Anora with her 1 dragon, which is obviously a special summon and part of her kit, Bubba's putrid flies, which I was a little bit surprised about, but I understand it doesn't work, and then obviously Kaede with his very weird birds. So yeah, anyway, I had a little bit of fun having a quick test to other things like Tallulah's butterflies. They don't count, but I just, I was interested to see if it would work or not. But yeah, anyway, so that is Ezareth. He is a really cool fighter hero. I do really like the mechanics in his kit, and I will just say he absolutely hits like a truck. So yeah, do let me know in the comments below, are you looking forward to getting him this Halloween weekend? I will be doing a very special Halloween live stream, so do stay tuned for that. We're going to have a bit of costumes, a bit of fun, a bit of giggles, and everything like that. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and the next live stream. So until then, take care and bye for now.